What's goody? What's goody? Your boy B Neil back in the building. Got some more videos for y'all. We got some more reactions. The DJ Act being a little red pill, man. He said you gotta treat women like kids essentially, and without context, of course, it sound crazy. So that's why I kind of laugh because, bro, Act just with the fresh and fit shit. He was like, oh, y'all gotta change up and be more humble and speak a little better. But bro, you can never stay on the good side of women, good standing with black women. Eventually, you're gonna say something crazy. Literally, let's say Act people start getting mad at Act for saying. So he made that statement about fresh and fit was less than like a month ago, and now he would have been able to be counseled. He said something deemable that people would have tried to counsel him for less than a month. I was like, that's why I was like, so like Act, bro, you say crazy shit all the time, bro. Why are you trying to act like you got to be filtered to? That's just so far from the truth. But we're gonna get into it to show y'all exactly what I meant. Get it?
It's a free pass. Well, let me tell you this. Unfortunately, I know women talk about equality in the center and all this progressive shit, but as a man, you have to treat women like they're kids. Like literally, like you have to. Like you have to treat them like they don't know better. You got to treat them like, they're like, I know they say equality, but you got to treat them like you have to really coddle them. You feel me? Like, for example, a girl gets up and slaps Tommy Sotomayor or hits him. You can't hit her back. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that, for example, like, I'm not into hitting women, period. But, like, a woman would be like, yo, Akademiks, you fat, sloppy bitch. That's why you don't know nothing about hip-hop. That's why you this. And I hit them back with the same vitriol. Shorty, you motherfucking bum-ass rapper. You don't own your shit, blah, blah. You know what they say to me? Oh, my God, why is he talking to her like that? Why don't you have the same energy for dudes? What? Like, you got to talk.
I think men have all been through that. We've all been through that where, like, we have said something or argue with a woman and people look at you like, why are you arguing? I remember, or look at you crazy the whole time, like, you just matching energy got hit with. I remember in 6th grade, I was getting capped on. I ain't gonna lie, I was getting cooked. I was getting cooked, boy. It was for like 10, 15 minutes. Like, everybody in the class laughing. Pretty girl, cool kid, everybody on my ass for whatever reason. It's just one of them days, boy. And so eventually I was just like, sick of this shit. I look at one of the main culprits, nigga, like, it's either the one that's laughing the loudest or the one that's antagonizing everything. It was a female. I was like, man, you long neck ass bitch. I mean, we in 5th Ward too, so nobody, like, 15 minutes of roasting in class ain't shit. We probably had a substitute. Or it probably been a real teacher. No one gave a fuck. I was like, you long neck bitch, you look like a giraffe. She fucking bawled out in tears. And I'm like, nigga, what? Because, like, me and her kind of always like, I ain't even gonna say I always went at it with her, but she'll always have some slick shit to say to me because it's like, I was the cool dude to pick on at that school. I ain't like, it was my first year going to that school. I never knew nobody. Like, it was my first time in this area. Like, I ain't grew up on this side of 5th Ward, like, at all. None of my people don't grew up on this side of 5th Ward. So it was like I was an outcast, and it was easy for people to talk about me because, like, it just is. Like, whenever body poke at you, bro, even lame people think they could pick at you. It's like, nigga, I'll fire your weak ass up. Yeah, these niggas killing me right now, but nigga, what you laughing at? So that's kind of what happened. But when she crying, I'm like, bro, how the fuck you think I feel when I've been getting laughed at for 15 minutes fucking straight? Now all of a sudden you want to cry and act like a fucking victim? Like, what? And it's annoying because it's like, bro, y'all can come with such vitriol. Like, Kevin Samuel says first, say it best. Shame, insult, and need to be right. Like, bro, that's some of the frustrating shit when it's dealing with men. And women do it just in a passive aggressive way. And they try to act like, oh, we're not doing anything, but it really simulates caring behavior, and that's why I had the Karen video up. Because I mean, bro, the characteristics are fucking very similar. But I wanted to let Jordan Peterson kind of break this down versus like how women tend to be aggressive versus men.
By a background threat of force, and in a sense, that's why men have difficulty with women. Is it really?
No,
so?
That's why men have difficulty with women who are completely out of control. But
who should control women?
Themselves. Like who should control women? You should have self-control.
Well, other women themselves, men, society, just like everyone is controlled. I mean, you're controlled by society. I'm controlled by society, and thank God for that. I mean,
It's
part of
funny. I mean, you
Controlled by the family name and the legacy you must live up to. You're controlled by the things that you like. You're controlled by many different standards. If I want to be good at football or sports, I have to be controlled by having good habits and routines and working out and eating. Like, life is shaped around certain controls and habits. To act like that doesn't exist is kind of crazy. And this is one of these women that you would consider a PhD, right? But for some reason, like, simple thoughts are like complexing to her. This is common sense to me. Like, if you just set 30 seconds and really just thought, like, these thoughts would make sense to you. And she's gonna display that even further to her, why she just so smart, but she just can't be wrong and allow him to be right. So she just ought to act like she can't comprehend shit or nitpick all his points, even though she absolutely looks stupid.
described yourself as a liberal earlier, and I think a liberal doesn't think that a society controls women or men.
well, let's say regulates. I'm a psychologist as well.
But what is an out of control woman? What is this?
Like, look how much that bothers her, because when she hears control, she hears slavery. She hears like oppression. Versus like when the control he speaks of, I think of reward. I think of action. I think of just like just routine. Like, I don't know why that's so perplexing, but it shows you how much feminist women battle with that word control and words like submissive. Even if it could reap them rewards, just the wording alone makes them feel like a certain way. And it's so weird because everybody else has to acquiesce to this, but for some reason you think you don't? Like, let's be real. And this person is supposed to be smart and intellectual. She's hosting a radio show, doing interviews, and that's what frustrates men. Like, this is a simple conversation. And Ak is going to get to this a little later. I'm going to go back to Ak. I'm like, bro, you can't even have discord with them because it's like so much going on in their head that they come off as stupid sometimes. They come off as childish because at this point, you're not trying to be productive in the conversation. It's almost worse than a child. Because I think a child just not in control of themselves. You choose not to be in control. They just haven't learned control.
Creature, how do we know when we met one?
Well, I'm sure that you've met women in your life that acted towards you in a bullying and detestable manner. It's very difficult for women to cope with that because they don't have any real recourse. And female bullying can be unbelievably vicious. And usually that takes the shape of reputation destruction, innuendo, and gossip. It's well documented. It's very difficult to defend.
But
no, men do it too, but men no. But the patterns,
disproportionately women in your view or not? Sorry.
Yes, disproportionately women. That's what the data indicate. I mean, if
But
men are,
She struggles with that, and this is common sense. Men are more aggressive, and they display their aggression through fighting, through sports, through war, through working out. Women display their aggression through gossip and knocking down reputation and backstabbing and shit like that. Because y'all psychology and y'all natures, your biology. Common sense. If you just did 3 minutes of research, you could find that information quickly. It wouldn't take long days and hours to figure this shit out. And that's what frustrates men. This shit be common sense when you talk to women about certain shit, bro. They just seem incapable of understanding because it speaks to their common knowledge and beliefs. Disgusting. Nasty.
Later on, innuendo and gossip.
well, it's among antisocial behavior among adolescents. It's a well-documented field. So because people look at aggressive and antisocial behavior in women and in men. And in women, it tends to take the expression of innuendo, gossip, and reputation destruction. And in men, it tends to take the form of outright physical aggression. There's a whole literature on that. It's not a surprise to anyone. This has been known for 30 years. I mean, the rates of antisocial...
I think the idea of the female gossip probably predates 30 years.
Well, it does.
By a long time, but that doesn't make it gospel.
But,
so it predates something, because I would say gossip and all these different things have been known for years. That's why it's sayings like be seen, not heard. Because if you start speaking around the wrong men and coming out your mouth against the wrong men that don't care about you, you don't have those same defenses to protect you as a man if he was to come out his mouth. That's why you get certain statements like that. And you see how she didn't challenge that men are predominantly aggressive physically, right? But she just has to challenge the anything negative about women. But when you say something about men, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, predominantly most men, they're aggressive. But she should have challenged that, because she'd been like, well, no, I believe in equality, and I believe women are just as physically aggressive too. But she didn't. She didn't, because she understands when you talk about aggression, it's usually looked at as a negative trait instead of just something that's natural in everybody. And depending on how you display it, depends if it's a negative or whatnot. But she can't even, like, bro, this is common sense shit, bro.
Really
People
does it?
have, no, it doesn't, but people have looked at how women express. Look, women have to express aggression somehow, unless you're willing to say that they're not aggressive. They tend not to do it physically, not to the degree men do, so they use other channels. And what other channels are there other than physical aggression if you're going to be aggressive? Well, you go after people verbally. You go after them with innuendo and gossip and reputation destruction. And that's how it works.
And just to be clear, that you think that's predominantly a female modus operandi?
It isn't that I think that.
Well, I'm
It's that
asking
the
you.
clinical literature indicates that. It isn't that I think it.
Well, I'm not interviewing the clinical literature.
Talk to women like they're almost like animals. Like, pause. Like, and let me explain that before somebody takes it out of context. You got to talk to women like, it's like you can't have really actual discourse with them. So they might be like, yo, you a bitch, you small dick nigga, they'll call you the F word, this and third, and you can't be like, yo, man, shut the fuck up, you blah, blah, blah. You got to just keep it nice with them. You got to just act like, when a kid hits you in the face or whatever, like, you ever been like taking care of like your little nephew and your little nephew hits you, and you just got to be like, you're just a fucking kid. Like, it's kind of sad, but like, you got to treat women that way. Because, all that equality shit ends when you want to have discourse. And I'm not over here advocating for like, hitting on women, right? So I'm just talking about just discourse. They be acting like when a woman says something to me, and they be saying some really nasty stuff. Like, Meg could call me fat, anything, right? I fucking say she's non-talented, like she's fucking doesn't own her own music, she's a fucking pawn, which is all facts, right? You know what they say? Oh my God, why are you talking to her like that? Oh my God, like, yo, it's like you gotta just like when a woman says that, you gotta be like, yo, oh my God, you're a woman, bro. Like it sounds sad because that's not what equality is. Equality is, yo, because you're a woman, I'm gonna take what you say, I'm gonna feel it's important, just like when a man says.
Women soft, and that's true. Women are delicate to a certain extent. They can be hard, don't get it fucking twisted, but they're delicate to certain extents. That's why they get so emotionally triggered so fast. And you have to understand it as a man, like, it's just not worth the risk, because at the end of the day, you're gonna always usually look like the bad person. So that's all I'll say with it. Everybody knows you got to be soft with women. If you can acknowledge that, and you can also acknowledge that you have to also with the sentiment or the context of saying treat her like a kid, pretty much similar to treating a woman, treating a child softly. You can't deal with them like you would deal with a man. You can't be honest with them like with a man. That's why every time you hear Kevin saying you talk about some shit, it's not what you're saying. Even though that's bullshit, they just not gonna follow this. But the sentiment reflects their nature.
Says it. And if a man gave me a compliment, like, I would be really, like, maybe happy. But if a woman gave me a compliment, you'd also, in equality, be really happy. If a man said something to me like, yo, you blah, 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 I would say the same thing to them. But when it comes to a woman, you can't. Like, you just can't. Like, you just gotta just fucking. So, that's one of the things where, like, all that, like, equality shit just goes out the window. When a woman really says something to you, like, you gotta just kind of, like, look at them and be like, you don't know no better. Like, that's honestly what
they don't be knowing no better. That's the truth. They don't know no better in the sense of the harm that they're doing to the man. They don't know how hurtful they are. They think they just talking their shit. They having fun trying to win the argument, but they're being hurtful. They don't know how difficult they being. They don't know how dumb they look. There's a lot of shit that they don't know. A lot of shit going over their head when they get into that mode of the need to be right. Because, like I said, once they get triggered, bro, it's tunnel vision. It's basically, I gotta kill. I see red, basically. And when it comes to that type of argument, when it comes to women, when they see red, they about to pick at you, bro. They about to pick at you until they cut you. And they won't be satisfied till they feel like they cut you good enough. It's just like when somebody hit you and then you slap them back, but you feel like you ain't get to slap them as hard as they slapped you. So you try, hey, nah, I need to get another one. I need to get a clean one, nigga. Don't hit me and run away, nigga. Let me get my shit off clean, nigga. So that's how a woman feel when it comes to an argument. Even if you was unintentionally or whatever, if you just debating with her and she feels like she's losing, you got to think women are social. When a woman feels like she's losing the debate, just like when you were in school, you feel like you're losing popularity. Like being wrong feels like it's like people can clown you. Like you're supposed to be embarrassed. Obviously, it's a childish fucking way of thinking. Very childish way of thinking. But you can't say that it doesn't reflect that shit. That same thing in high school. They wrong, bro. They just get so in that they feel like they backed up against the corner, and you trying to just make them look stupid. And it's like, no, I'm trying to prove a point and I'm trying to educate you, but for some reason you keep feeling stupid instead of just feeling like, oh, I'm getting enlightened right now. The opposite of feeling stupid. So like I said, a woman, when they start to feel attacked and shit like that, they gonna cut you until they feel like they got their get back. And that's that. Ain't nothing like a woman scoring, because I said, bro, that emotion, they see red, and until they get they just do, they not gonna stop seeing red. They gonna carry that baggage.
So whack, because like, yo, I thought this was about equality, and just like how, you know what I mean, like,
and if the nigga that did it to him ain't get it, the next nigga will. If the nigga that hurt her or whatever, whether it's a relationship argument, oh, best believe she gonna have her guns ready on the next experience that she go through. And if it's a relationship, oh, a lot of times she gonna take out what she didn't get to take out on that nigga. That's just how life works. So, yeah, it's a dangerous game playing with those type of women, man.
Y'all feel like sometimes my words get too crazy for women? Like, y'all could say things that could get crazy for me. Like, why do we have to like call out gender when we're both now insulting each other? Meg Thee Stallion insults me, and when I insult her, they now mention the fact that she's a woman. The same way, and I'm down. Listen, I always say, no matter what it is, I'll play by whatever rules y'all have. Just write the rules down and make it apply to everybody. If y'all would say, yo, if you argue with a woman, you a bitch. If you like go back and forth with a woman like that, you're a bitch. Okay, cool. But on the flip side, what happens if a woman just keeps like picking at a dude? It's like saying that, yo,
he's a bitch.
Yo,
she's literally acting.
I agree with this.
That's
if
literally the definition of where bitchy came from and nagging came from. So that's the perfect example. But no other women ever checks it, and then men jump in and try to say the woman too when she's acting like a bitch. I can acknowledge a man going back and forth with a woman at certain points, bro. It's like, if you start taking shit personal, yeah, bro, you definitely acting like a bitch. Now, if you going back and forth trying to teach her some shit, I can understand that. But if you being petty and spiteful and shooting slugs throughout, like, you being a bitch, you being emotional, and you playing a stupid game. I can acknowledge that for a man, but no one, like, that's the problem with men. It's like no one wants to acknowledge it from the other side though. When the woman does it to us and we're getting harassed, like, bro. But right, I went here, bro, because this is the perfect example, bro. We see women behave like this, and we call it Karens, bro. But it's starting to seem like more than just these women have these behavior traits. These women are like the worst examples of it. But at some capacity, a lot of these women are lacking self-control when it comes to their emotions, and that's why you get these spiteful ass debates. But we see these examples all the time, bro.
Please back away from me.
I need you to hear some words.
This is insane.
I will back up here, but you need to listen to me.
You're not.
If you're that concerned,
Miss, I'm concerned about you stopping me from leaving. That's what I'm concerned with. I'm going to go into the store and let them know that you're
like me, bro. Like, I'm gonna push somebody like this. Like, get out my face. You're invading my space, which makes me feel hella uncomfortable. Especially a white woman that's aggressive. You're making me feel hella uncomfortable right now in my space being aggressive like that. I want to push you. When I push you, your fucking heel's gonna be over your fucking forehead. You're gonna start crying, and then you're gonna act like I was fucking robbing you. So, like, it's a disgusting fucking behavior, but we see it all the time. Yes, ma'am.
And coming up next, we jump right into the middle of a heated exchange between two neighbors who simply do not like each other. The woman who is being filmed had approached her neighbor and started to lash out at her because she didn't like the fact that she had certain flags posted up on her front lawn. Not caring about her neighbor's unwanted opinion, the woman pulls out her video camera and begins to give her neighbor a piece of her mind.
Bro, these are temper tantrums, acting just like a child, bro. And the problem is a lot of women never got that type of discipline. And we see it with men too. A lot of men without fathers' homes end up in jail because of lack of discipline. But it's like the women in their lives didn't whoop these women. The women in their lives didn't put hands on these women because that's why they can have these temper tantrums. But black kids, we don't have temper tantrums like that. Why? Because you don't get your ass whooped. But you see white kids have more temper tantrums because they don't spare the rod. Spare the rod, save the child, right? They don't do that in their community, in their culture. So you get these Karens. And with women, I think they get less whoopings than men. And especially in society, like even in school, men get more punished heavily for our behavior than women. And even in jail or in the court system, we get penalized heavier for the same crimes as a woman. And then let's not include black people. It's even worse. Or black men, I should say. So yeah, these people, bro, they just be displaying childish ass kid-like behavior, bro. And it's so disgusting. We see it. So, like I said, what X said is 100% right. 100%
No, women,
right.
like, there's something wrong with you. But what happens if there's a woman just constantly hitting on you? Do we not shame her too? Do we not basically tell her she's a scum?
So even a woman with Tommy Sotomayor, that woman should have been fired. That woman should have been counseled. She shouldn't have been able to go on nobody's shows. Could think of if it was a man. If it was a man that hit a woman in a debate on YouTube, that nigga getting fired. If he was in the NFL or some shit, fired. If he getting on YouTube, he getting pulled this shit off. Like, come on, bro. And he probably gets some jail time. Like, he ain't get no charges or none of that. Like, if the state would have seen that shit would have got popping, the state would have started filing charges. They wouldn't even have needed somebody to report the shit. And then vice versa, if a man do press charges, he a bitch. That's how people look at it. If a man press charges because a woman hit him, he a bitch, bro.
Like, she's wrong? Oh, so she can do anything. You just got to practice restraint. You know what I mean? It's like almost, it's kind of like, this is what I'm saying. It blows up the equality conversation because they talk about a lot of like women, like it's motherfucking, what do you call it again? It's like men are Superman and like women are just like the mere mortals. So it's like, yo, if they throw rocks at you, you just like sit there and take it, blah, blah.
Try it out. That's been about it, man. Been a very interesting video. People take this shit out of context. Me and Ag getting counseled. That's just, we explained it well. I even showed examples of Karens living it out. And if you can say what we said is wrong, that means you're saying what they do, these type of women, Bible women that a lesser justified, right? Classy behavior, really deplorable. Acknowledging. That's been it, man. Out.